Orquídeas salvajes. I actually think I just realized that I really like orchids. And it happens like that. I go through cycles or phases, and right now I'm like, orchids. We are talking about orchids today, and orchids are extremely special. They deserve some very unique looks and, you know, all of that. So here we go. Let's give it a try. The reason why I'm doing all of this, it's because I actually got 2 new orchids. Introducing the beautiful Banda. So the scientific name of this guy is right there. It's a wonderful plant. I've been wanting to have it for quite a while. In the past, I got a different Banda, and unfortunately I killed it. Of course, not intentional, but it happens. And then the second one I got is a beautiful Oncidium. This guy, it's called Heaven Sent Sweet Baby. So it kind of belongs to the Oncidiums that smell very nice. Actually, that's the reason why we bought it. So this year, the Winter Carnival Orchid Show, or something like that, I'll find that out. Okay, I got it. Winter Carnival Orchid Show. A lot of words. It got canceled, and that's where we usually get most of our orchids. We love going there. It's in Como Conservatory, and it's a wonderful show that the Orchid Society of Minnesota put together. They bring vendors. It's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, this year it's gonna be canceled. So we had to go to a really cool store in the Twin Cities. If you haven't been there, please check them out. It's called Orchid Limited. It's in Plymouth, Minnesota. Details. And they have an amazing collection. They are a great source of information. And they are just so friendly, so nice. Orquídeas. Ooh. Okay, so the reason why I'm being so silly about this, it's because I feel I have orchid fever. It's what you get when you are in front of an orchid. And I don't know if you have been lucky enough to be in front of a full bloom orchid. And it actually, things happen. When it's time to bloom, they display these wonderful flowers that when you actually study their structures are very interesting. The concept of orchids, it's actually comes from Latin, and it means testicles. I've been watching a lot of cool, super old documentaries. And there's some amazing stories about orchids related with like orchid hunters, that are these people in the botanical world who will take these journeys and expeditions to go to virgin places in the land, and they will find incredibly weird looking plants that belong to this family. They will bring them back, try to identify them, try to see if they have been discovered before, and study all of their cycle and shapes and flowers and whatnot. Okay, just a little bit of taxonomy. And there's a point here. First you have class, always the class first. Then you have orders, and then you have the family. In the family you have different genus, and then inside of those genus you have the species. There's over 25,000 species, and that's not counting how many hybrids people have put together. So here's the thing. If you, for example, want to cross a tomato with a cucumber, because the salad of those two things are beautiful together. If you bring the pollen of tomato into the female structure of a cucumber and you try to put them together to have this amazing fruit, okay, that doesn't happen. But orchids can. You know, they are from different genus in the orchid world. A phalaenopsis can be put together with a dendrobium, and those two things together make their own thing, and the flower is stunning. That doesn't happen very often, and orchids are so filthy that they can. So imagine the possibilities. Or check this one. It's a Rhincolaeliocattleya. So 3 genus in one. There's even funny stories, like back in the Victorian times, where all of these royalty were expecting to see these amazing exotic flowers from undiscovered lands. So people will come from their expeditions and they will bring all of these amazing scents and flowers and whatnot. They will be so careful because the princess, it's not allowed to see the flowers of the orchids because they're too sexy to look at. No kidding. Like, that happened. So, and again, that when you look at a beautiful flower, they are so sexy. They provoke so much. From those 25 or 27,000 species, it's being reported that 70% of those are epiphytes. That means that they grow on top of a substrate. That means that they are not planted in the ground, but actually on top of a tree, or maybe over like a rocky environment. Oh my god, now look at those baby cute roots. So this is Oncidium facellatum, and the new growth puts these new roots just once per year, and they crawl all over the substrate looking for new things to grab and more nutrients and whatnot. And that's the very important time that you should be making sure that you have a nice and rich and in good health substrate. So there's specific times to do the repotting, and that's before these happen, because these roots are very active right now and they are looking for a nice and rich soil. I remember walking in Copacabana, and on top of the trees there were phalaenopsis. Of course, they were cultivated varieties. At some point somebody mount them on top of trees in the street, and they just forgot about them because the environment and the weather, it's such a lovely place for orchids in Brazil, or at least in Rio, that orchids just thrive on that. Okay, so this is a phalaenopsis, and I want for you to check how the roots are looking like. So they send roots from the upper part of the plant, and those roots are really looking forward for a substrate to attach to. So check the color of the roots. I want to show you the way that I water orchids. So I usually would take 2 plants and put them in this bowl and let them soak there for a little bit. And then I just use very clean water with the fertilizer that I'm using, that I usually do organic orchid That is a very low number. I just make sure to hit each root and making sure that I am not going all the way up in my bowl. And you can already see how the roots change color. So I can keep going a little bit farther without making a mess. But yeah, this is probably the proper way when you have space to water your orchids. Forget about the ice cube, because actually they don't know about ice. They are tropical guys and they like warm places. Around 30 minutes have passed and you can remove your plants from the water. And again, you can always use this time to check the health of your plant. And it's looking really good right now. I always like to kind of remove as much excess water as possible. And I don't know if you can tell, but the roots are green right now all over. So we don't see any signs of rotting or why not. So again, good healthy roots. And yeah, that's how it goes. It's very easy.